All right. Anything we need to take up before I call a case?
I don't think so, Judge.
I don't think so.
All right. Let's be on the record. Case number 2020-CR800, caption State of Kansas versus Kile Roberts. Would the parties announce their appearances, please?
May it please the court, Your Honor, the State of Kansas appears through Assistant District Attorney Mark Brinkworth.
And may it please the court, Luke Alsberg for the defendant, Kile Roberts, who appears in person through Zoom video at the Wyandotte County Jail.
All right. We are here set down for the defendant's motion for a bond reduction. Mr. Alsbrook.
Judge, presently, Mr. Roberts is not able to afford the $15,000 bond that the court has set. We're here asking for a $5,000 bond. He believes he has funds sufficient to make a bond of that amount, but not really anything higher than that. He has been in jail for going on about 3 weeks now, Judge. I will tell you, Mr. Roberts is from the Kansas City area. His mother still lives here. I know he has a sister that lives here. He attained his GED in Kansas City, Missouri. And so I don't believe that he's any type of a flight risk. He has lived in this area for his entire life. When he was arrested and charged with these offenses, he had a job. He believes that he will be able to obtain employment at that same place if he is released. It is a temporary agency, a temp agency, and so he doesn't know the exact type of work that he will be doing, but he was able to obtain a job prior to being arrested on these offenses and believes that he will not have a problem getting a job if released. I will tell you, Judge, when looking at the probable cause, if you've had a chance to do that, I don't think anybody here would disagree. It's a little strange, perhaps, or odd, and without divulging, client attorney confidentiality, I have talked to my client about if he is released. One of the things that I think it would be good of him to do, as well as I think it would put the court a little more at ease if he obtained a mental health evaluation and obtained a diagnosis and possibly including medication for that, and abided by any recommendations from a mental health professional. He has told me that he's willing to do that at his own expense, and I believe that the court can incorporate that into bond conditions, such that if he doesn't do it within a certain number of days, or it's obvious that he's not taking his medications as prescribed, that the court could use that as a grounds to properly revoke his bond. But I do think that it would be a good idea for Mr. Roberts, may ultimately give everyone a better understanding of these offenses and why they have allegedly occurred. And so that's what we're asking for, Judge, to give him the ability to bond out and get back to work and try and figure out if there is a mental health issue with Mr. Roberts, try and get that addressed quickly. I know, he has abilities to do that while in custody. I just think it may be quicker, and of course it won't be an added expense for the state if he's able to do that out on his own. And so that's what we're asking for today, Judge.
Mr. Brinkworth.
Judge, the defendant did steal a mannequin from a store, so by not making light of the situation, but it is a little weird. And so we'd ask that you order a mental health evaluation if in fact you do grant the bond motion, the bond modification, Judge. Otherwise, if you do not grant the motion, we'd request that he be ordered to submit to a mental health evaluation while he's in custody.
All right.
And I apologize. Just for clarification, I have met with Mr. Roberts in person at the jail. At this time, from my conversations with him, and it was probably close to an hour or so that we talked last week or the week before, I did not at that time form an opinion that he was not presently competent. And so, and that's not something that I'd be asking for him to be released if I didn't think he was competent. So just for the court's clarification, obviously, I don't know what was going on back on November 16th or whenever these offenses were committed, but in talking to him, I felt that he had knowledge of what he was charged with. He understood what he was charged with, at least, and was able to answer questions for me. And so this would be more to kind of what was going on previous to being incarcerated, as well as an overall mental health picture for Mr. Roberts. I just wanted to add that, Judge.
All right. What can anybody advise if the defendant has any kind of criminal history, and if so, what?
Judge, he does. Mark, do you have that readily available?
Do not, since I'm working from home.
Mr. Roberts told me he has a 2014 robbery case, of which he was out of Jackson County. He received a 5-year probation. It was a conviction probation, and he successfully completed that probation, I believe, fairly recently. Is that right, Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
But he did complete that probation, I think in either late 19 or 2020.
All right.
And this is,
All
I
right.
believe, his only Wyandotte case, Judge.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, that as may be, I think what I have to do today is determine if, from all of the facts in front of me, whether I think that Mr. Roberts is either a flight risk or a danger to community. And I really don't think that anything about these cases says that he is. He's been in for a while now. I like the idea of him getting a mental health evaluation as a condition of bond. So I'm going to give him, and I don't need it. I don't even need him supervised. I'm going to give him a court date today. And I'm going to order that he, before our next court date, that he at least have his evaluation scheduled. I don't know if it'll be realistic to have it done by the time we come back with the holidays quickly approaching and whatnot. So I'm going to OR him today. I'll send over the release. And my order will, let's see, I'm thinking about setting him on our docket on January 19th. That's the third Tuesday in January. That ought to give him enough time to at least get something scheduled. Are you gentlemen available that day?
I am, Judge.
I believe I am.
All right. Most of these things are taking place by correspondence anyway. So, Mr. Roberts, here's the deal. I'm going to let you out today, okay? Your lawyer tells me you're going to go out and get a mental health eval set up before we come back to court. Our court date's going to be 9:30 in the morning on January 19th. Look, you need to keep in touch with Mr. Alsobrook. You know how to reach him, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, keep in touch with him, because if he and the prosecutor and my assistant work out something with that date where you don't need to show up, then you won't have to come in. But unless you hear differently from Mr. Alsobrook, you need to be in my courtroom in Division 8 on January 19th at 9:30 a.m., okay?
No problem.
Anything else for our record today, gentlemen?
Not by the state judge.
Not from the defense today, Judge.
I'm gonna get that release sent right over. You all have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.